Greetings to all peoples and kingdoms of Arda, and welcome to Shieldmaidens of Arda. It's May 1st, the second year anniversary of Shieldmaidens of Arda. To celebrate the day, I thought it would be nice to reflect on my own journey, unexpected for myself though it was, from the first time I watched the Lord of the Rings movies, read the books, and became intrigued with the world of Arda, to the inspirations that brought me to create this channel, and where I hope to go in the future with all of it. So sit back and let this shield maiden be your guide into the wonderful world of Middle-earth. I have always been a book lover. Not only that, but I've also always been a book writer. I'm constantly coming up with ideas for stories to write, characters to develop, ideas to unfold. Not so many years ago, however, my writing, the books I looked to for inspiration, and the ideas that I allowed myself to take and turn into that precious story were quite different from what I might attempt today. For before I met Tolkien, I strictly and stubbornly determined to stay within a single genre, historical fiction. I was a realistic person. The word fantasy, sci-fi, or even fiction beyond historical fiction brought up images of silly flying saucers marooned in an outer realm, fluffy princesses trying on endless dresses and hats, cheap romances that existed only for long and boring conversations between beloved and lover. No, fantasy was not for me. Dragons weren't real, so why should I pretend that they were? Rings that threaten the continuance of an entire world don't exist, so why waste my time reading about them? It was hard to tell exactly when my views on such things changed. I contribute much of it to my return to Catholicism. Classical education is something that is widely popular among Catholics. And classical education consists of reading many books. Ancient classics, Shakespeare, literature from Spain and France and Russia. I found myself opening up to a whole new world of opportunity. I read Les Miserables twice in the space of 8 months. I read 1984. I devoured scores of other classics and listened to lectures on Shakespeare. I spent hours among library shelves, finding new books and revisiting old ones. I was willing to explore other fiction besides historical fiction. But I was not quite ready for fantasy. Fantasy found me. I didn't find it. My brother suggested the movie to me, and I was highly skeptical. Lord of the Rings? That was fantasy, wasn't it? All about silly dragons and mythical objects, and men with tall, pointy hats and gray beards strutting around looking important. There was no real message behind any of it. It was simply there for entertainment. But my family sat down to watch the movies, starting with The Fellowship of the Ring. I clearly remember sitting there, thinking to myself as I saw the Black Riders galloping through the forest after Frodo, "This is so strange." I didn't understand any of it, and I didn't like it. I do recall being a little shocked by Gandalf's death, but not enough to entice me into learning more about this strange new world that had been thrust upon me. I still saw it all as a waste of time. We watched The Two Towers next, and though I was still skeptical of the movies in general, and frightened of Gollum in particular, I was starting to pay a little more attention to events and characters. I don't even recall the moment when I really fell for Tolkien and his works. I know it was Frodo's sweet innocence, the struggles and trials that he was enduring, that softened my heart and made me see beyond the fantasy element. By the time we were watching Frodo's ship sail into the west at the end of The Return of the King, I was a convert. I was also intensely curious, a little overwhelmed, and left with dozens of questions. Beside my determination to avoid fantasy, I had also resisted reading The Lord of the Rings because I knew how very complicated and deep the lore was, and I wasn't about to become entangled in something I wasn't committed to thoroughly understanding. Now I was committed. I began by reading Wikipedia articles. I checked out the books from the library, and I listened to Joseph Pierce, a leading Catholic and Tolkien scholar. I had been told by many sources that Tolkien's works were intensely Catholic, that they held a lot of meaning to them. I was determined to find out what that meaning was. Joseph Pierce helped me a lot. Reading the books also helped. I watched the movies again, and again, and again. There was so much beauty and deep meaning hidden within the story. This was not some silly tale about princesses and dragons and romance. This was real. There were real struggles and real fears and real joys and real love. It was possible to write something other than historical fiction and have to change the world. Beside books, my second love has always been the theater. My dream has always been, and still is, to perform on stage in a musical, maybe even a ballet. I love dancing and singing, and the beauty and power that such arts can express. So it was perfectly natural for me to put together a short Lord of the Rings ballet for my family, using music from the movies. I learned even more through that process. I discovered the wonders of Howard Shore's music. I tried my hand at some costumes, and I fell in love with a new character, Aragorn. Tolkien's books gave me a wonder of the outdoors. Suddenly, I wanted to take long walks through the forest. I wanted to camp under the starry skies. I wanted to feel the wind against my cheeks and through my hair. There was little opportunity to do so in the place I lived, but I took every opportunity that came along to find nature trails, riverside parks, even little glades of pine trees to wander in. Finding Aragorn only increased my love of such things. Aragorn was a ranger, a man of the wilds, a hero of the sword and the trees, with a quiet, commanding voice and silver blue eyes that could shed a tear in sorrow or flash in anger. Of course, I was basing my image of him off the movie, but as the movies had been my first exposure to the Lord of the Rings, I tended to gravitate towards the depiction of people and events. I became immersed in the Rangers, learning Aragorn's history and that of his people, the Dunedain. I discovered the joy of making costumes and handmade helmets, and even vambraces. And when I received Aragorn's sword Enduril as a birthday gift, it only completed and furthered my love for Rangers in general and Aragorn in particular. The sword was a gift from my sister, who was a Tolkien fan every bit as much as I was. She became deeply involved in the linguistic side of Tolkien's world, becoming quite fluent in the Elven languages. Together, we had fun in finding ways to engage with Tolkien's wonderful world. With such a large world as Tolkien created, there was plenty to learn about, and there were plenty of places to learn it from. I had only to type in Aragorn, Lord of the Rings character, to be rewarded with countless articles, videos, and blogs. One of the first Tolkien channels I discovered was Men of the West. I was instantly drawn in by Yoisten's calm, knowledgeable manner, his gentle voice, his professionally done videos complete with music and images. I watched his videos every week, and became more and more enthralled by diving deep into Tolkienian lore. One thing he said on a live stream always stuck with me. A viewer asked Yoisten for some tips on running a successful YouTube channel. Yoisten's reply was something along the lines of, "Be passionate and be consistent." I resonated with those words. I was passionate, and the challenge of always bringing viewers good quality videos was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to start my own channel. It had always been a source of frustration for me that so few videos or websites expounded on the Catholic side of Tolkien. He was a Catholic, after all, and his works resonated with those themes. Why did not more places celebrate this? Well, if no one else would, then I would step up to the plate. I would create a channel with the express purpose of bringing to life the spiritual, Catholic side of Tolkien and his world. Taking inspiration once more from Yoisten, I thought that if there could be a Men of the West channel, I would have my Shieldmaidens of Arda channel. So on May 1st, 2021, I posted my first video, Naenor's Theme, a song that I had composed trying to express the emotions of Thorin Turambar's sister. I received few views on this video, or the next few ones. My 7 Gates of Gondolin video drew a few more viewers, and by January of the next year, my hard work had paid off, and I was garnering decent viewing and a nice number of subscribers. I learned a lot that first year. When I started college the next year, it helped me to develop my writing skills even more. The way I have presented some of my positions and arguments in my earlier videos would have looked quite different if I were writing them today, with my gathered knowledge on logic and argumentative writing and such. College also meant that I had less time to work on my channel, but I found the time to post at least once a month. It was always a source of joy for me to see how others enjoyed my videos. So now I'm at the 2-year mark. I'm still a Lord of the Rings and Tolkien fan. I always will be. There was so much to learn and dive into in the world of Arda. One could never run out of videos. I hope to continue making lore videos, maybe some more music videos, and I would love to do some collabs at some point. One dream that I've always had for my channel was to host a Tolkien readathon. The idea would be to create a challenge to read through the Silmarillion, The Hobbit, and The Lord of the Rings in 1 year, and to meet monthly over livestream to discuss what we've read. Maybe I'll still do that one day. I also plan on someday getting a better microphone, a better video program, and continue to work on my presentation. I also hope to expand my Buy Me a Coffee page, finding new e-gifts to offer free or to my supporters. There's so much that could be done. And Tolkien's world inspired me in another way, too. I had always been intrigued by the medieval time period, and Lord of the Rings only sparked that interest. I'm currently working on a novel set in the 1400s, centered around rangers in a small medieval village. Stay tuned for more updates. One of the most beautiful things about the world that J.R.R. Tolkien created for us is that it will always be there. It will always be waiting for us to explore. It will always be calling us to leave our front doors and walk out into the forest, to laugh at the blue sky, to feel the wind on our cheeks. Why not heed that call today? Find your inner elf or hobbit just for a while. Thank you for joining with me today through the World of Arda. A big thank you to all of the other Tolkien YouTube channels, including Men of the West, who have and continue to inspire me. I'll link several of them below. A big thank you to all those who have supported me and helped me over the years to become who I am. I could never have done it without you. Is there anything that you would like to see this channel do? Any ideas you have to make Shieldmaidens of Arda even better? Let me know in the comments below. Please like this video, subscribe to Shieldmaidens, and join us again so we can explore more of Middle-earth together. Namaste.